not just against minorities, but because of its Manuvadi approach, it is a much wider ideological, cultural construct which we have identified and which we are countering in various ways. Our discussion is how to expand our work to take our alternative vision and our alternative policies to the people. The second aspect of this is that in fighting Hindutva, the economic aspect of it, the nakedly pro-corporate, pro-big business character of this government in bulldozing the rights of the workers, the kisans, the rural poor, in support of their crony friends, this aspect of corporate Hindutva or Hindutva corporate regime, this is very critical in our understanding, because unlike many other parties who have come out against Hindutva or against communalism, we find that the aspect of the economic nature of Hindutva, the class nature of Hindutva, the intrinsic exploitative nature of Hindutva, in that it is supporting big business almost nakedly in dismantling laws which are already there. This aspect, we believe, this link between the two is something that the communists and the left movement have been doing, and we are discussing how we can further this campaign linking both these aspects. The third important point, which I found that many of you have already taken from yesterday's deliberations in the inaugural session, and that is naturally our concern about expanding and building the independent base of our party, particularly in the states of West Bengal and Tripura, where we have suffered a setback, and how to, on the basis of the struggles which we are fighting in both these states, how we can take it forward to a political platform. That is something which is being discussed in the party congress, one of the issues which are being discussed. So all in all, this party congress is a congress, I believe, of renewal, of rejuvenation, and of commitment to take our political line forward on the basis of a self-critical review of our work in the last 3 years. And I would also like to add, as I had said, as we had said yesterday, this Congress has been held at a time of a great sorrow for us, because it has never happened before that in the course of the preparations for a party Congress, we lose our main anchor, our General Secretary, Comrade Sitaram Yechuri. And therefore, how we have been able to, and we haven't been able to, I won't say that we've been able to, but collectively to overcome that very great gap which was there from August, in the middle of our preparations. I think this Congress is a salute also to Comrade Sitaram Yechuri, because so far it is being very, very successfully held. There are very good, healthy, important discussions going on. We have also adopted 2 resolutions. The first resolution adopted is a very important resolution. The central trade unions have given a strike call, an all India general strike call for the 20th of May, and the party congress has resolved to support the strike. It is against the 4 labor codes. The resolution, which I think will be distributed to you, also mentions the other aspects of anti-worker policies which this Modi government is following. And I myself was shocked to know that even this section 111 of the BNS, which is supposed to be against organized crime, we have got examples of how this section 111, which has been imported from the UAPA, how this section is being used against our trade union leaders. We have 3 examples, 2 from Uttar Pradesh and one from J&K, where this section has been utilized against trade union leaders and against collective bargaining rights granted to us by the Constitution of India. So I think this strike poll is a very, very important poll, and the CPIM supports it. The second resolution that was introduced by the trade union leader and president of our CITU, Dr. Himlata, and supported by Omyo Patra, agricultural workers union leader from Bengal. And the second resolution, another very important resolution, is about the assault of Hindutva and the recent communal incidents which have occurred. And that resolution was moved by P. Rajiv, Industries Minister from Kerala, and it was seconded by Madhu Garg, leader from Uttar Pradesh. We have also, we have a tradition of going through the pre-Congress amendments and putting them for vote, because during the party Congress also we get lots of amendments to our resolution. So the pre-Congress amendment report was also placed, and we have accepted 133 of the amendments which were placed. I think that's what you have to say. Anything else left out? And as you know, today we have a very important seminar. You're all invited to the seminar. It's on the assault on federalism and center-state relations, and it will be attended by the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu and the Higher Education Minister from Karnataka, and of course the Chief Minister of Kerala will be there.
ஒரு நிமிஷம் இந்த இடத்த மட்டும் சொல்லிருங்க. ஒரு நிமிஷம் இதை சொல்லிருங்க. இடம் மாறி இருக்கு.
நண்பர்களே, இன்று மாலை தமிழக முதல்வர் மு.க. ஸ்டாலின் அவர்கள், கேரள முதல்வர் பினராயி விஜயன் அவர்கள், கர்நாடக அமைச்சர் சுதாகர் அவர்கள் மூவரும் பங்கேற்கக்கூடிய மாநிலங்களுடைய சுயாட்சியை, கூட்டாட்சியை வலியுறுத்தக்கூடிய அந்த சிறப்பு கருத்தரங்கம் ராஜா முத்தையா மன்றத்துக்கு மாற்றப்பட்டிருக்கிறது என்பதை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறோம்.
She is asking a question.
Ma'am, do you think the amendment in the amendment bill was pushed because this US tariff announcement was coming? Do you think it's a attempt to distract attention
From
US tariff imposition?
No, I think the tariffs anyway were expected. So I think this Waqf Amendment Bill has been planned for quite some time. The issue here is why they brought it in the fag end of the session and just to push it through and hoping that all the MPs will not be present. So this is a planned attack by the Bharatiya Janata Party RSS. They're two separate issues. I mean, it may have coincided that they would like to use the benefit of what they have done to divert attention from the tariffs. Certainly, that could be one. But I think the plan of the Waqf bill has been there. And the fact that they decided to bring it in at the last fag end of the session shows their desperation to once again polarize India on these grounds.
Priyanka Gandhi didn't come and vote against the bill. So how do you react to that?
I think you'd have to ask Priyanka Gandhi. How would I react to that? She didn't come. She didn't come. As for everybody, it's her constituents to see that she was not there at such an important time for her own constituents. And it's for her to answer.
Comrade, in the inaugural address by Comrade Karat yesterday, he mentioned the attacks on Muslims, but there was no mention on the persecution of Christians in India, number one. And number two, how do you react to the stand taken by the certain Catholic denominations in Kerala in support of the Waqf bill?
Perhaps in this speech it may or may not have been there, but as far as the atrocities on the Christian community is concerned, it is very much there in our political resolution. And we have got the updated figures also of the atrocities on Christians. And the other aspect that I would like to draw your attention to, apart from the atrocities which have already occurred and which have been registered and which we have strongly condemned, what is happening is today among the most marginalized communities who believe that they have the right to convert if they so wish. Today, under the Bharatiya Janata Party governments, the right to convert is being totally criminalized. It has now become a criminal act if anybody wants to convert from one religion to another religion. And I know, because I work among Adivasis in many areas of Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, of Chhattisgarh and many other North Indian states, and I was deeply, deeply concerned and disturbed that it has reached this level that a Christian Adivasi cannot bury their dead in their own private land in a village. And unfortunately, when that Christian Adivasi came to the Supreme Court for succor, it is most disturbing that although it was a split judgment of the Supreme Court on this, ultimately they made it a law and order issue and said immediately you can go and bury in a Christian graveyard. So what is happening? Our whole point is precisely this, that when we talk about minorities, it is not just the Muslim minority under attack. Minorities in India are all under attack by a government which believes that in India the only nationalist has to be a nationalist which goes by their interpretation of what the Hindu religion is. So we are very clear about that. About the Catholic bishop's stand in Kerala, we have seen that stand. We don't agree with that stand. If there are any genuine issues, as there are in Ernakulam, for example, there are ways that those issues can be resolved, can be solved, rather than bringing a bill, bringing a law which bulldozes the Constitution of India and the right to freedom of choice and the right for protection of religious rights.
Comrade, on what reason you have decided to review the political tactical line of the party? I am asking this because in the last Lok Sabha election, to some extent, India Bloc was able to counter the BJP at the center.
We have in fact made a very categorical statement in our resolution that undoubtedly the coming together of a wide range of secular parties on the India platform was a most important reason for the BJP losing so many seats in Parliament. I think there may be a misunderstanding about the communist review of our work. This is a normal practice that when we come to a party congress, we look back at the last 3 years as to how we implemented the last political tactical line that we took, including the period where the Lok Sabha elections were held, whether it was right, whether it was wrong, whether there were weaknesses in our implementation. We review that, and on the basis of that review, we take it forward. As far as the understanding of the BJP and RSS is concerned, there is absolutely no issue here. We are all strongly united on the fight against the BJP and the RSS. There are no ifs and buts on this. As far as the India platform is concerned, we are very clear that to defeat the BJP and RSS, a wider platform of secular parties is extremely necessary. At that time of the India platform, it was for the Lok Sabha elections. Since the Lok Sabha elections have been over, there have been various state assembly elections. In some assembly elections where there were already pre-existing alliances, as for example the MVA in Maharashtra, naturally we supported that alliance and we were part of that alliance. In Congress, where two partners of the India bloc the Congress and the AAP could not come to any seat sharing arrangement. Our party decided, we fought 2 seats, but we decided in all the other seats we will be supporting the AAP because we believe that that was a force in Delhi which could best defeat the BJP RSS. So as far as the CPIM is concerned, we are very clear as to what our direction is, and certainly whether it's India platform as it exists today, how they rejuvenate it, how they come together again, we are very much part of the understanding that a strong united platform is very much required to defeat and isolate the BJP RSS. And we also would add a point here which I would like to emphasize, that in doing so we have to ensure that the independent base of our party, the independent appeal of our party, because as I said, we have an understanding that Hindutva and corporate Hindutva has to be fought together. Some other parties may or may not agree with it. As long as we agree on the basic issue, we are certainly very much part of it. And we have to have our own independent platforms, our own independent movements, so as to be able to defend the interests of the labouring classes of India.
Comrade, we heard that some of the delegates appreciated Kerala government in the discussion session. Will you please explain that?
We are going to adopt a resolution on the LDF government. Let that resolution come, and then some more details can be made available to you.
Speak about left unity and the same set of parties that were equated in the last party congress was equated in this time. How do you actually choose what's the criterion that you apply when it comes to inviting these parties? Because there are other parties also straight to the federalism in this line. For example, there are parties like RP or CMP in Kerala. So they also make more than value. How do you actually invite?
We cannot go on self-declared claims of parties which are working with us, parties which have been part of the left front in some cases, and a broader left united mobilization over the last 3 years, in which we have had many joint programs together. Those are the parties who we invite. Where does the question arise? Why should that question be raised at all? Sorry, sir, I can't hear you, sir. Can you take a mic? Can you take
the
a
mic
mic?
யார்ட்ட இருக்கு?
Our political resolution, I think, is a public document now, no? It's a public document, you can have a look at it.
Sir, while ensuring that the CPM's independent strength is maintained, we should not sacrifice our strength for other parties in the India bloc. Does that mean that CPM will continue to be part of the
No,
India
that
bloc?
exact formulation is not exactly in that way. I don't think we have ever sacrificed our base whenever we have united movements. But certainly, we have to be very clear that the independent strength of the party is not just a flexing of muscles, but it is because of a political understanding, an alternative understanding that we have, to which we are duty bound to our own party program to take to the people. It is on that issue that there are certain issues on which we can never compromise. The issue of the working class's interest, the issue of the Kisan interest, the issue of taking a strong line against Hindutva, not having any kind of compromise or soft Hindutva. We are very clear on that. So, and we believe that to have this uncompromising fight against the BJP RSS, you have to strengthen yourself.
The issue is that you want to make a broad understanding about all these similar parties. But how could you press the Congress? One hand they are either directly or indirectly making some adjustment with the BJP. At the same time, They are also making understanding with the communal forces like Jamaat Islami, SPB, etc. Then how could you trust this progress?
No, we have our own assessment of the Congress party, and we have a paragraph on different political parties and our understanding of them. And in that section on the Congress, we have not used the words which you have used. That is not our assessment. We have said that the Congress party, despite saying it's against crony capitalism, it is still fundamentally a party of the ruling classes of India, and it represents to that extent the same class interests as the BJP, although the support of the class has shifted right now from the Congress to the BJP. That is the way we look at it. We have also said that it's also true that the Congress perhaps is not playing the role it can play, being the largest party. However, our approach to the Congress is determined by the fact that today it is the largest party, secular party against the BJP, and to that extent where our political line says that our aim must be to defeat and isolate the BJP, the Congress has a role to play. So our assessment is the Congress has a role to play. That does not in any way mean that we have no criticisms of the Congress or any other party to that. And where the Congress is directly in confrontation with us, in any states where the Congress is directly in confrontation with us, or any other partner in the India bloc who is directly in confrontation with us, there is absolutely no doubt about it that we will fight them, because we believe that that is a way that we can defeat and isolate the BJP.
Ma'am, the CPM has been trying to expand its base, like you said. Your independent strength is now to be built in states like Tripura and West Bengal. But paradoxically, in Kerala, where the party may be organizationally strong, you are facing a political opposition increasingly, especially from the BJP. But the party, again, paradoxically, is heavily dependent on the Kerala unit of late. If by way of projecting the quote-unquote the achievements of the government or the track record of the government, but have you been able to spread the word or take this message to the other states? And why is it this over-reliance on Kerala?
First of all, I don't exactly know what you mean by over-reliance on Kerala. I'm not sure what you mean by that. You may like to clarify it. As far as we are concerned, Kerala has always had pride of place along with West Bengal and Tripura in our history because of the huge fight that Kerala has waged on many fronts, not just the electoral front. And therefore for us, the Kerala LDF and the Kerala LDF government is undoubtedly a model at a time when government after government are being bulldozed into accepting the BJP's one-party dictatorship. In Kerala, we have been able to withstand their entire attack on us. And in that attack, the reality is that instead of helping or supporting the forces who are fighting the BJP RSS, there are certain secular parties who call themselves secular in Kerala who are helping the BJP there. So I think this term over-reliance is not a correct term. We do not accept that term. We are proud of Kerala.
According to CPI, Pinarayi government is doing well in Kerala. But could you able to make it more public or more popularized in other states of the country? Because many of the comrades, they are not aware properly about the government.
I think we have been able to project the record of the Kerala government. And what we have done, more than that, the Government of India Statistics has done. Because on all the major statistics of social indicators of the progress of Kerala in the last 5 years or 6 years, it is a Government of India statistics which are showing that on health, on education, on minimum wages, on anti-corruption, and on communal harmony, the Kerala government's every index is higher than every other state in India. So we, of course, with our own sense of pride in what the Kerala government is doing, despite all the attacks on it, the fiscal attacks on it, assault on its rights, Government of India cannot get away from the reality that the government they hate the most is the government which is doing best. I think what is happening with Asha workers is an issue as to, in the course of movements, for example, having been in movements for 50-55 years, one of the experiences I have gained is that you always identify which is the main force responsible for your plight. It is no doubt a fact that all over India, the Asha workers are exploited. All over India, because of the central guidelines issued in 2005 by the UPA government. And I remember, I was in Parliament at the time when Asha was first proposed as a part of the Rural Health Mission. And if you look at the speeches, including mine at that time, you will find that we strongly oppose this idea that those whose shoulders are going to be used to take health to the most remote rural areas, you are not going to pay them a minimum wage. You are going to, and the guideline is, they will always remain voluntary helpers. That is a central guideline which remains still today. I believe that the struggle of Asha workers, not only in Kerala, but all over India, as an issue which directly affects the policies and is a result of the policies of the central government. And I would say to my sisters in Kerala, we are 100% with the demands for the Asha workers to be recognized as government employees, as regular workers, for which not once, not twice, but we are constantly raising our voice in Delhi.
Madam, you mentioned about Adivasis. Actually, in Adivasi areas, there is there. One side corporates, other side Hindutva forces, Maoist actions, counter-Maoist actions, and Home Ministry is talking about elimination and renewal, all those things. How do you see all this?
I think there is a virtual war against Adivasis in India. On April 2nd, there was a court which came up in a court case in the Supreme Court, which wanted to reopen the entire case for eviction of over 20 lakh Adivasi families who are living in tribal areas and who have not been given forest rights, the Forest Act rights. And it is a fact, undoubtedly, that today, in the name of even climate change prevention and the planting of trees, Adivasi land which is occupied by Adivasis, not being given the pattas, and their land is being snatched away from them, and commercial plantations are being put there. So there is an all-round attack. What is the mining laws which have been passed? These mining laws, allowing private mines anywhere and everywhere in the name of ease of business, what is happening there? In the whole of Jharkhand, in the whole Rajmahal area, All the companies of Gujarat are there, you will see them all there. And they are snatching the Adivasi land without even proper compensation. So these are very serious issues which the party Congress is taking note of. Now, I think...
Government of Kerala. And day before yesterday, I believe they have cut their hair, some of them have removed their hair. As a, as an activist who was deeply involved in the Asha workers struggle, did you, intervene and find a solution for the problem of Kerala?
I think the leaders of the struggle have to find a solution. It is not for me to find a solution. But I would only request my sisters, because I feel the pain, and I understand the issues involved. And as I had said, the basic issues, the fundamental issues, recognition of Ashas as workers, recognition of fundamental rights of Ashas as workers. And I think that is a very critical question which must be addressed to the central government. And therefore, as far as we are concerned, not only because of Kerala, but because of all India Asha workers are on struggle, and that struggle is directed towards the central government. And also, I would say, of course it happens in struggles, that political leaders come and address the struggles. That happens in many struggles. But we also have to be careful that our struggles, whatever struggles we as women workers fight, we have to be careful that our platforms are not misused by those who are actually responsible for our plight.
நாளைக்கு பிரஸ் மீட் நடக்கும், நாளை மறுநாள் நடக்கும், அதுக்கு அடுத்த நாள் நடக்கும் தொடர்ச்சியா. Unless otherwise it is specifically mentioned, every day it will be between 3 and 3:30 in the evening. எல்லாத்துக்கும் என்னுடைய நன்றிகள். சாயங்காலம் அங்கே வந்துருங்க, அது சீக்கிரமாகவே முடிஞ்சிடும். என்ன சொல்றேன், இல்லை முடிச்சிடலாம். நாளைக்கு நிறைய பேர் நாளைக்கு வருவாங்க.
Dear friends, we are requesting all of you, please stay for 5 minutes. On behalf of reception committee, a small gift is arranged. Please.
See, please bear with this. Today there may be some inconvenience. Definitely there is